Welcome to Heart of Stone. Follow an intelligence operative on a thrilling mission to thwart a hacker's scheme to steal a deadly weapon from a shadowy global peacekeeping agency. Let's dive in. In the Alpine Arena Salanes in Italy, a team of agents carry out an undercover operation. As one of them who's hacking the systems remarks that she can't believe they found Europe's most wanted arms dealer who hasn't been seen for over 3 years. She adds names and faces to the guest list before suddenly realizing that she isn't able to connect because something's changed. They realize they need a new plan to get their guy in, so she says she needs direct access to someone who's already on the network and choose the head of security at the bar. She informs them that she can hack his phone, but they'll have to get at least 10 feet close to him. The others tell her to not get out of the van as she's not a field agent, but another agent assures the others that she can do this as the arms dealer starts moving. The woman, Agent Stone, tells her partner to call the head of security once she's within 10 feet of him before getting out of the car. Stone walks into the club as well and confidently takes a glass of champagne before heading towards the blackjack table and placing a bet. Her partner calls the head of security and they manage to get access but remark that he's looking suspicious as he starts heading towards her and asks what she's doing. Luckily, she just swiftly says she's never played before and shows him a guide on blackjack. She wins and cheerily says she should quit while she's ahead and walks away while the others remark that it wasn't bad for her first time out of the van. They track down Mulvaney, the leader, and start heading towards him while Stone inserts their faces into facial recognition. A man flirtatiously approaches her and asks if he can take a seat, so she answers that he can take it wherever he likes while the members manage to get inside and look around, remarking that they've been wagering on body counts. One of them swiftly takes out an injection and approaches Mulvaney to give him a heart attack, but a guard suddenly notices something and grabs her hand, so she injects it into his arm and he starts firing. Everyone starts panicking and running away. Both the agents start taking down the guards and the woman tells her partner to head for Mulvaney while she takes down these guys, so he quickly heads down and gets Mulvaney under control, telling Bailey to get them out as well. Bailey quickly starts driving towards the rendezvous before all their earpieces suddenly get hacked, and a woman's voice tells them that they really need to work on their subtlety since they ruined her party. She says she should have listened to the voices in her head, telling her that the British are coming as Gal Gadot informs the others that their comms have been compromised. Bailey hurriedly says they should choose a new plan and have to go dark with Route Bravo, so Stone quickly stashes her phone and is about to move when she suddenly notices a woman toasting towards her. The agent from before quickly tells her to move and they get going while the other guy throws Mulvaney into a zipline car and they start moving, but Stone and the other member notice that Mulvaney's men are heading towards the cable car station and remarks that Parker's a sitting duck, so they need to head down there now as well. As they're running, Stone suddenly trips down and tells the other member to go with Bailey. Once they've left, she quickly puts on a pair of earbuds and tells Jack that this is 9 of hearts, telling him to give her a forecast. Jack announces that they have her full position and information, telling her that the MI6 team won't be able to get there in time, so Lahart gives a 93% chance that Parker will die, so Mulvaney will get out unless the charter intervenes. She says she's going to need a parachute, so he directs her to a handrail 50 meters to her right and cautions her to not blow her cover. She jumps down and starts sliding down at a breakneck pace before catching her parachute, as Jack informs her that the heart is giving just a 32% chance of success before she flies off the edge of the cliff. As she's heading down, Jack suddenly informs her that Mulvaney's reinforcements have already arrived at the cable station and tells her to pick up the pace, successfully navigating her path before suddenly realizing there's an obstacle in the way as she collides with the cables and Parker and Mulvaney's car wildly starts shaking.
God, please, no! No!
Jack gravely remarks the chances of success have just plummeted, but she says that's only because he has no imagination and starts gliding down the cables. As Bailey and the other member relentlessly chase after Mulvaney's reinforcements to stop them, Stone falls down the cables and is approached by the man from before who gives her a hand and says meeting her again must be destiny, but she dashes forward and rushes away on her bike. Parker and Mulvaney start grappling with each other as Jack tells Stone to keep an eye on Bailey and the other member, Yang because they absolutely cannot risk blowing their cover. She says she's aware of that and takes the forest path as a sniper opens fire on the cable car holding Parker, but she crashes into Mulvaney's security's car and takes cover behind it as chances of victory rise to 85%. She watches from behind a corner as Yang and Bailey hurry towards Parker and get Mulvaney out, but realize he's dead now since he took cyanide, seeing which Stone asks Jack what they have to do now. In England, Stone's team gets told off for almost completely failing their mission, and she later tells Park that she'll look into the girl. She visits the charter team's HQ and learns that the girl is Kia Dhawan from Pune, India, and learned to hack from Naeem Karch's IT workshops, but had a falling out with them and got involved with a bunch of criminal lowlifes. The leader explains that they think Kia set up the casino fiasco on purpose and exploited Mulvaney's gambling habit to lure him in, since Mulvaney had become obsessed with a new weapon, a myth, which is a quantum computer sophisticated enough to hack into anything, anywhere. Stone asks where she is now, so Jack explains that the heart predicts with 96% certainty that Kia is heading to Lisbon next for the opening of Club Moritz, so they'll leak the location to MI6 and have her operation up and running in the next 24 hours. Stone says this doesn't make sense and questions why Kia would interject their comms on purpose, show herself on cameras, and reveal herself to her. Jack remarks that he doesn't think they should suspect the heart, that is the closest mankind has ever gotten to perfect intelligence, because of eye contact, to which she retorts that he thinks that since he doesn't have a girlfriend. The leader tells her to just follow orders and says her mission is Lisbon. Stone asks if they're tracking her now, but she answers that she's just tracking her asset because when every government falls, the only one left is the charter. Later, as Stone's working, she frustratingly tells Kia to take the bait and suddenly receives a new message from an unknown user, asking if she's looking for her. She asks if she doesn't have any friends, to which Stone questions why she raised her glass towards her at the casino. She answers that she wanted her to know whose party she was crashing and tells her that she's about to find out what she wants before going offline. Stone receives a call from Bailey, who tells her that they'll be heading to Lisbon before wishing her a good night. In Lisbon, Portugal, Parker makes fun of Bailey's music before Yang asks Stone if she's alright and says she should switch seats with her. They arrive at the club and decide to head out in a few hours once it's open.
Yeah, boy.
Later, Bailey puts on a song and starts dancing with Yang before Parker and Stone join in as well, but suddenly, a flash grenade gets thrown inside and they get blasted away as Jack swiftly tells Stone that 6 hostiles are entering the building. Stone and Yang quickly hide in a corner as Bailey hurriedly drags Parker's body to take cover as the hostiles open fire on them. Yang starts fighting them and tells Stone to get out as Jack informs her that she'll get killed and plots an escape route for them, but she says she's going back in and takes off her earpiece before heading in and starting to take down the enemies. Once they're done, she quickly tells them to come with her, and they quickly rush into the streets, where she takes control of the van and starts driving in reverse before getting onto the main road. As she's driving, Bailey says it's time for her to come clean and asks what else she can do other than fighting, driving, and hacking. They start getting pursued by 3 vehicles, so she rushes into an alley and whips the car around as Yang opens fire on the cars behind them. As Stone successfully gets another round of cars off their tail, Bailey shakily says he can't speak for the others, but he thinks it's safe to say that she's ready for the field. They decide to ditch the van, but as they get off, Parker remarks that from what he just witnessed, a baby agent from it took out an entire kill team before Bailey asks if she's from the charter. She admits she's after Kia Dhawan too and wishes she could have told them more, but they're all after the same thing. Parker denies this and suddenly shoots down Bailey and Yang before asking Stone if they mean anything to her. He says he wants to learn a few more things, but is looking for a fight most of all, so they start battling, but she pins him down before he paralyzes and reveals he was the one who set up the casino, got all the information he needed from Mulvaney, and poisoned him with the cyanide. Later, Stone drearily wakes up in a tent with a group of doctors working on her as the leader of the charters is informed by Jack that they're being breached by a signal from inside the building. Stone hurriedly falls down the stretcher and uses a scalpel to dig out the device dug into her skin before crushing it. Jack says there wasn't any major breach before the leader tells Stone to come with her for a word. Inside, she tells her that Bailey and Yang died because she went back in and blew her cover before revealing that she's going to have to fire her from the charter. Hearing this, Stone angrily walks out and throws the access card away. In the bus, she receives a call from Kia and tells her that she's coming for her. Meanwhile, the leader walks into a room filled with the remaining 3 kings. One of them remarked that Parker is an agent who has nothing he needs to live for, which is why he's working for a country that thinks of him as expendable, before bringing out a report from Chechnya in 2015, which describes the time when a warlord was given free rein by the government. Thus, he wiped out whole villages to completely stamp out dissent, and Parker was there as well, with a different identity and the MI6, delivering weapons to take the warlord out, but intelligence came through, claiming their whole team was executed. Another king says they couldn't let the weapons get to the warlord and disguised it as a rebel missile attack, revealing that he gave the order himself, and MI6 buried their mistake. No report, no investigation. They thought everyone had died until a few hours ago. Assuming he knows they were behind it, he's probably after the charter. Meanwhile, Kia asks Parker why he killed Bailey and Yang and says that wasn't the plan, but he tells her to stick to the tech and leave the strategy to him, so she reminds him that they're partners and orders him to tell her what he's doing before he does it, if he wants her to properly do her job. He tells her that the charter doesn't care about Bailey and Yang, so neither should she. Meanwhile, Stone visits Bailey's house and pets his cat, Barry, before looking around and seeing pictures of his daughter. She starts using his laptop and remarks that Kia hacked into this camera feed before tracking her location down to the locker in West Africa. As Parker and Kia arrive at a warehouse, he asks her how long they'll take for the locker to descend, to which she answers that it'll be 11 hours and 6 minutes. He remarks that the charter will realize what's going on at this point, and it'll take 9 minutes and 26 seconds for the locker to drop to 40,000 feet, giving them 8 minutes to get in, take the heart, and get out before the charter can regain control. But if they find her code, it won't descend. They'll be waiting for them and they all die. Meanwhile, in the charter's office, Jack remarks that they haven't found anything yet, but they'll pop their heads out soon, before suddenly realizing something and hurriedly telling the others to get the Nomad, the leader, and Aloe. Jack informs her that they've been locked out and all security systems are down, logging them out of the locker. Kia and Parker breach the airlock as Stone flies down from her plane, and Jack informs Nomad that they've got something approaching the locker fast, so they take a closer look through the heart and realize that it's Stone who barely manages to reach the locker. Hearing something, Parker is about to take out his gun, but Kia stops him and says its line is filled with hydrogen. Stone manages to open the airlock as well and slowly approaches Kia, telling her it's over, but she suddenly gets attacked by Parker and they start fighting while Kia slowly retrieves the heart and the charter loses all control. Stone suddenly gets thrown off and her parachute gets stuck on a panel as Kia tells Parker that they've got to get going, so they start escaping and he attaches a bomb to the airlock before going out. As their helicopter is leaving, Stone wearily manages to get out of the locker and grabs onto the helicopter's rope just as the locker starts exploding. She manages to tightly grab Kia, who loses her grip on the rope, and they both start falling down, so Stone hurriedly grabs Kia and activates her parachute before they crash onto the ground in a heap. Kia stands over her with a gun and tells her to get her way back into civilization, while she follows 3 steps behind her with her gun. Stone questions where the heart is, so she reveals that it's with Parker, but she encrypted it with her biometrics, so it's useless without her. Stone tackles her to the ground and takes the gun from her, telling her to get up so that they can get moving. As they're going, Stone asks Kia what her end goal is, so she declares that what she's doing is not for her, but for all the other people like her, revealing that her parents were taken as lab rats. They suddenly notice a car coming towards them, so Kia suggests they lure the bandits in and bait them before taking them out, but Stone decides to wait. The car stops near them and the woman inside asks if they need to go anywhere, agreeing to give them a lift. As they reach the nearby town, Stone thanks her for the help, but the villagers suddenly start firing at her, so she quickly runs away and jumps off the cliffside, falling into the sea. Meanwhile, The woman tells the man to give her the payment, but he shoots her in the head, seeing which Kia walks off in horror. Meanwhile, Stone wearily reaches the shore and a woman approaches her, remarking that she's hard to track and giving her Nomad's regards. Stone gets ready in the plane and learns from Nomad that Kia and Parker are heading to Iceland as Jack informs them that they'll be heading to the crypto labs. Parker and Kia install the heart into the lab servers and he tracks down one of the kings, telling an assistant to take her lift down, shocking Kia, but he doesn't stoop as an assistant tells Parker that an unidentified military plane landed at a private airfield and Jing-Su, one of the kings, is also in Iceland right now. Kia tells Parker that there were other people in the other elevator as well and remarks that he said they were going to expose Karch and the charter, not murder them, before another assistant informs them that the King of Hearts and her team is in a bunker outside of London. Parker tells her to take them out while Jing informs Nomad that he'll be going in with the rest of the team because it's only fair since he ordered the strike on Parker in the first place. Nomad is about to tell him that she would have made the same call in Chechnya before the entire system suddenly gets disconnected and they realize that the heart's taking control as they get locked in. The ventilation system suddenly gets shut down as well, so Nomad calmly asks Jack how much longer they've got, and he remarks that it'll take about an hour until they're completely out of oxygen. Parker tells Kia that the charter never cares about who gets in their way, so neither will they. Kia says the King of Hearts is locked in and they'll be dead in an hour, remarking that someone has to control this power. Kia says this isn't what they agreed on, but he declares that she still doesn't see the bigger picture, explaining that this isn't about some little grievance she had with the evil guy who killed her parents. It's about power, contained in the hands of the very few who could actually use it for good, who can really make a change but choose not to. He declares that they're mining trillions of pieces of data at this very moment, and in a matter of hours, he'll be able to take down the remaining members of the charter. They've been manipulated all their lives, so it's time to take control. Jing-Su and his team rush into the lab, so Kia asks Parker what he's doing. He asks her if she wants to know how great men achieve power and declares that it's not because they earn it or deserve it. It's because they take the moment when it comes. The others inform him that Stone is approaching, so Kia returns to her computer and silently inserts a flash drive into it. She calls Stone and tells her that she needs to get out now, revealing that she's uploading a failsafe that will disable the heart and they won't be able to access it without her. Stone tells her that she's already outside, but Kia says she isn't and discloses that she found the tracker and that the lab is a decoy, so she needs to get her team out now. Stone questions why she should believe her, so Kia admits she was right about Parker and about everything. Stone suddenly stops and asks her where she is, so Kia says she'll send her coordinates and will leave the back door open. Hearing this, Stone quickly hurries to the van and tells Jing and his team to get out since they were baited, but he slowly picks up a tracker lying on a chair and confirms that he can hear her before the building suddenly explodes. Stone wearily gets up inside the van and calls Nomad, telling her that she doesn't know if the information is true, but it's the reason she's still alive, so Nomad agrees to give her 50 minutes. Stone rushes towards the real lab with the help of a truck driver as Parker threatens Kia to get the servers back up, but she leads him to the server room where Stone tries ambushing him and Kia suddenly detaches a pipe and fires him with the pressure. He knocks her down and starts battling with Stone while the members of the charter decide to lie down to conserve air. Kia hurriedly gets up and throws Stone the gun before she fires it at Parker's stomach and turns the ventilation system back on before calling Nomad, who says she knew Stone would call her back. Sometime later, Stone visits Kia and says she's joined the charter again in exchange for two conditions. One is to see the heart as only a tool, and the second is to have Kia join her team, sliding her the access card. Later, as they're on a mission, Jack returns with some coffee and Kia swiftly hacks into the power grid, after which Stone confidently exits the car to go give them the BAM. Thanks for joining us on the heart-pounding adventure of Heart of Stone. If you enjoyed the suspense, don't forget to like and subscribe for more thrilling content. See you next time.